Welcome to Ties Karmic Recall with David Dimitri. Edutainment, expression for liberation, and all you vibrating higher consciousness. Hotel, benevolence unto you all. One love. It's me, David Dimitri, and Soul Ties Karmic Recall come get right back at you and right back up in you. We're trying to manifest the look into sports, fighting sports, and what it could do for you and for the community wherever you at by getting back to the grassroots and letting a couple of real life boxers from the hood and from the city let you know what's going on and how it benefits them and what it does for their life. Let them introduce themselves.
It's your boy DActive, man.
Neil the Boxer.
Stay tuned, because you with Soul Ties Karmic Recall. Love every time. Get to know the champs before the rest of the world know they champs. Yo, we here looking at an athletic view on reality. Because remember, Soul Ties Karmic Recall is about reality. So how would I look bringing in fake people? Look, you see these athletes up at their heights. You don't even pay attention to them. Some people, you love a specific sport. Boxing, NFL football, soccer. So you might see an athlete start from college, high school, through college. You might follow an athlete. That's rare. But when I'm giving you people that are athletic fans or even semi, or maybe you're a single parent or a parent with a teenager, you're getting the opportunity to look at young adults, teenagers who are actually starting their athletic career and making some of themselves in that field. This brother right here could tell you a little bit about it. Why don't you give him your name and tell us where you're from?
My name is DActive. I'm from Rialto, California. And I started boxing back in like 2000 I'd say. But I only did it for about 6 months back when I was a kid. I guess I wasn't as disciplined or didn't want to put in what it took back then. So speed up 10 years after that, I got back into boxing at the age of 22. And I've been taking it seriously ever since. And I won the Golden Gloves. Right now my record is 5-1. I'm getting ready for this blue and gold tournament. And boxing has just been a blessing in disguise for me, man. Just humbled me out and just taught me the true meaning and the true definition of hard work, you know?
Wow. That sounds like boxing can be like the modern day Shaolin martial arts, but for the hood.
Exactly.
It's like it's an opportunity for you to develop yourself. Would you look at it like that?
Most definitely, because not only is boxing physical, it's mental. And if anything is helping you mentally, and it's not just helping you in that aspect, it's helping you in life, period. Because if you get your mind right, everything is mental, you know, whether you're going through some relationally, family.
But that's not the stereotype. Stereotype, and y'all know it, is that boxers are these dumb idiots.
Oh, no, most
you know, just brute guys that just beat each other up. Why don't you give us a little
most
insight on what?
Man, boxers are some of the most humble guys you can meet, man. Like any boxer that you probably ever met was a humble guy, man. It's just what they wanted to. It's just the perception that they want to give of us. I don't know why, but boxers are actually some of the most humble people you can meet. Because you have to have discipline and you have to be humble because you have to listen to your trainer. And if you're not disciplined and humble, how would you learn?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's real. And key word is learning. It takes an intelligent person to learn.
Exactly.
And it's mind-body coordination. You don't say that a dancer is an idiot.
Exactly.
So why would you call an athlete boxer? For instance, you look at a Marine who's an athlete, have to be athletic, an Army dude, a Navy, an Air Force, and you honor them. So why would you look so down on these athletes who entertain you from childhood?
Exactly.
Specifically boxers. Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to know what got you involved in boxing. What really was your inspiration? Why did you choose boxing? And what inspired you?
To be honest, as a kid, I think my dad kind of pushed it on me, you know, and I'm glad he did. And yeah, I had to say it was my dad. Coming up, my dad was taking me to all the fights. The first fight I actually went to was Zab Judah versus Costa Zoo. Back then, Zab Judah was my favorite fighter, man. So I go to see Zab, man. He was undefeated back. He was undefeated back then. I go to see him. He get knocked out, man.
Right, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But that was my first time seeing the fight. But yeah, most definitely my father is what got me into boxing.
Dang, that's crazy because I remember Zab Judah was like a mouthpiece.
And he was. And the crazy thing about it is I finally get to go see him fight, and Costa Zoo just, you know what I mean?
He decked him.
Yeah,
it was a deck.
Yeah, it was cold.
Like a movie you see.
Yeah. I couldn't even believe my eyes. I told my mom and they was looking at it wrong. They ain't what happened, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? That's what happened with that.
I mean, I literally went to the bathroom, came back, fight was
over.
over.
Yeah,
in real life,
that
that was crazy.
It didn't last that long at all, though. But that's the first fight I went to.
Well, what do you feel about what it did for you when you started at 22? What did it do? What did it change about you? What did it make you better at? How did specifically boxing as an athletics? How did it make you better? What did it do for
an
you?
overall life period?
Yeah.
Boxing humbled me, for one.
Why?
Because it taught me that, you know, you're never going to be the toughest guy, and it's not about being the toughest guy. It's about being humble, working hard, and dedicating yourself to something and being great. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And changing the people around you. It just mentally it put me on a whole different level. It taught me how to relax under certain life situations instead of going crazy. You know what I mean? Because in the ring,
when a crisis situation comes, instead of panicking,
I know how to
you go
relax.
into your reactionary mind.
I know how to relax now, because in the ring, if somebody catches me with a good punch, if you panic and you start getting wild, you're gonna get knocked out.
Right.
Same thing in life.
Yeah.
If something's going on in life and you panic, you start getting wild, you might end up locked up, dead, or anything.
Yes.
So it just taught me to relax under pressure and try to find the best out of the worst situations.
That's real positive, brother.
You know what I mean? Most definitely.
The brother's positive.
Yeah, most
definitely. Stay tuned. Time for an advert break. Soul Ties Karmic Recall with David Dimitri. STKR, Ecstasy, Reality, and Overcoming. Lifestyle Guidance. With David Dimitri. Obtain the book at soultieskarmicrecall.com. Now back to the STKR show.
All over the place, you gotta get your punches straight.
Right, let them hands go.
Short speed, short speed. You've never been out off the back or you would have lost. Too close, too close. Wrap it back.
I'm glad that, you know, when I grew up as a child in the 80s, it was like boxers were, Sugar Ray Leonard kind of changed it. It made it, he could talk, he was cool, he wasn't all extra big and buff and all that. He was just this, he seemed like a regular dude. He had an afro, he was a cool brother, you know what I'm saying? But he could talk, he was so smart.
Yeah.
You know, I think Sugar Ray Leonard helped change that mystique that boxers are these crazy guys, because, you know, Muhammad Ali would talk crazy. Muhammad Ali, they don't realize, was a genius. The dude could do numbers and everything and market himself. Muhammad Ali was a genius, you know? So I think this is great, what you're articulating yourself, but yet at the same time, when you go to your job, you have to deal with people trying to beat your brains out, and you kind of have to do that to them.
Exactly.
But somehow you're just a positive, cool, regular person. How does that fare with people when they find out that you do that as a profession? Like,
at first, like when you meet a new person, they probably be like, "Oh, this dude's crazy, this, that, and this." But once That's why I was always taught, never judge a book by its cover. You know, read it to the end.
Right.
Get to the back of the book. And once people meet me and get to know me, they're like, dang, this guy's nothing like that. He's humble. He's a boxer. I met regular guys on the street that are really crazy. And he's humble and he's understanding. He's
Right.
just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Boxing will really, you know what I'm saying, humble people out and change their life, because you have to have discipline. You have to listen to somebody. You have to be motivated. You have to be dedicated. So where do I have the time for the negativity if I do all those positive things, you know?
Wow. That's awesome, man. So it's the proper use of your energy.
Exactly. It's all about using that positive energy. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Where have you been with boxing? Where have you traveled to? Has it traveled you?
Oh yes, it has actually, and it started traveling me actually.
Has it taken you around? You know, have you dealt with any of the big names?
I was actually at Floyd Mayweather's gym and got to work with Roger Mayweather. And
I think I checked you out on your Facebook doing that.
Yeah, I got to work with Roger. That was a great experience, and I got to work with Floyd Mayweather Sr.
Okay,
that was a great experience.
Is it?
Like how the media tried to make them guys seem like some bad guys, hateful.
Yeah, like
them guys didn't know me
gangsters
for
and all that
the
stuff.
man on the street, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I went up there and they treated me like family, worked with me, let me train in their gym, you know what I mean, and told me to come back anytime.
That's
so I got
love,
nothing else. Shout out to them guys. Shout out to everybody at the Mayweather Boxing Club, because they showed me nothing but love. And that just goes to show, don't go based off what you hear on TV or what you see on the website. Go see for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't what people think.
Right.
Those are some good people up there. Some good people.
That's a good point too, because I noticed a lot of people, just because of the hype, like 5 years ago, hated Mayweather Jr.
Mm-hmm.
They hated this guy. Mm-hmm. They couldn't stand the thought of it. Mm-hmm. And now with time going by, and they had time to just not be influenced by people and told that they should like him or dislike him, and they're like his best fans now.
Exactly.
And why is it like that? Why did people make that switch? What was it? What was wrong with them? Why would they just assume someone's a bad guy?
Because Mayweather, a lot of people don't understand boxing and marketing. And what Mayweather was doing, he was marketing himself. Now that he's Mayweather, he doesn't have to do that anymore. So he's more of a humble guy. So more people are starting to like him. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But all along, that's probably how he always been. But he's trying to sell tickets, take care of his family. You know what I mean? And that's what sells tickets. You know what I mean? Like, not to knock Andre Ward or nothing, because Andre Ward I love Andre Ward.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He doesn't talk, or you know what I mean. So nobody really knows who he is.
Doesn't have a personality.
Exactly.
It's not his personality type.
And it started off with Ali. That's why Ali talked so much. It was to sell tickets.
Tickets.
You know what I mean? Fill up those seats. That's what it's about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you really understand boxing, then you'll understand those guys instead of just judging them based off what the media tries to persuade them to be. Go based off your own understanding, do your own research, and get your own knowledge from that person before you dislike them for what the media is trying to make them out to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep, man, because even some people with talk shows, people didn't like Arsenio Hall, and it's about to get racial now, because he was a black man that had a show. And but not just because his skin was dark brown, but because in their mind, if African American, or at that time it was the 1980s or late 80s, the early 90s, if an African American male has something like they're going for themselves, they're going to do bad with it.
Exactly.
You give someone black something, they're going to do the wrong thing with it. So no matter what, Arsenio Hall was a bad guy. Yeah. So me doing this show, it could be people thinking he's a bad guy. Look at his hair. He got African hair. He representing his African culture. You know what I'm saying? He's bringing black people on there. They're boxers. Like, you know what I mean? He brought a CIA agent on his show, telling the truth about how corrupt the government could be. Like, people can tell people behind my back that this guy's terrible. We shouldn't let him get syndicated on the network. This guy's a bad guy. So, you know, boxing isn't the only area in the world that gets a bad eye. And just like black human beings aren't the only people that get a bad rep. You know what I mean? But, you know, Mayweather, I think, being a dark-skinned African-American man, because I'm a lighter-skinned African-American man, I think if I was doing what he was doing and acting that way, I wouldn't get as hated as him. But I think he got hated that bad, partially also because his skin was shining so dark as he was doing what he was doing. That's just my personal thoughts. whatever you think, like I said, you can comment. This will be on the social media. You can make your video comments, your write-up comments. You can not like me. You can say what you want, or you can like it. You can comment. You can leave your agreement with it. But that's the whole point of us having these discussions. So as an athlete, I also think that, you know, I played football. Mm-hmm. I did MMA, boxing. I did wide crew, Muay Thai kickboxing mesh matches. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, being in active physical sports like that, I always got looked at as if that's all I'm good for.
Exactly.
Do people do that to you once they find out you're a boxer? Like that's all they want? They don't value you in other ways?
I mean, I'm not sure how people look at me sometimes, but if that is how they look at me, I'm just trying to show them differently. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to show them that it's way more to me than just boxing. It's way more to me than just being an athlete. And I can be a positive person. I can change lives, and not just in the African Americans and people. Period. You know what I mean? Because I'm a people's person. Right on. I'm a people's person. You know what I mean? Right. And the government and the media, they want to make this perspective of what black people, what we are. You know what I mean? We're like the pit bull. We're like the pit bull of the human race, because you know they don't want pit bulls.
Yeah,
if you have pit bulls, or you can't live here, you can't live that. When it's bad people from every race. Right. It's like it's bad dogs from every set of dogs. So why be judged off what those few pit bulls did? Now I can't have a pit. You know what I mean? Right. Because it's some humble pit bulls. I'm sure you've been around different types of dogs, and it's some crazy chihuahuas. Right. You know what I mean?
Chihuahua ripped my arm wide open. You know what I mean? For nothing.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Never bit me.
And this is what I'm trying to get to. It's some. I'm not saying all our people are perfect. There's some crazy black people. Right. It's like it's some crazy white people, some crazy Hispanic. You know what I mean? Right. People are people. You can't go based off the color, say they're crazy, or based. You know just like someone that's committed a crime that's a boxer. Mm-hmm. They could put it on the news, say he went to prison. Mm-hmm. Now, somebody that does golf could do a white collar crime and get millions of dollars. Yeah. Get busted, and they don't say much about it. It's crazy. The news. It's a hush hush. Yeah, you know, if someone's commits a crime for a couple of $1,000s or a couple of $100 in the hood, they come to their house kicking the door. A politician could rob a city for millions, $100 million in a matter of 1 year. They'll come, send a letter, let them know they're investigating them. They will not take them to jail, or they'll tell them, come by, you have 72 hours to come check in with us. And then they'll allow them to bail themselves out. They're allowing them to get their attorneys ready. That's crazy. You see, the society deals with classism. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to get back into boxing, man. What other fighters have you seen live? I seen Sean Porter recently against Kell Brook, his first loss. I seen Floyd Mayweather when he fought Mayweather the first time. That was a great fight.
I know, yeah, that was a wild show.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
That was wild. Did you expect to go that route?
I didn't. It was in the first fight.
Mayweather did good.
Yeah, he did good. I think that his wild style kind of threw Floyd off. Yeah. You know, when you shoulder rolling, that overhand right is kind of hard to, you know what I'm saying, the shoulder roll, right over the top of it. So Floyd just had to figure him out and use more of this type of defense instead of the shoulder roll. But once he figured him out, he was Floyd Mayweather. I seen Deontay Wilder fight. I liked his fight. He knocked the guy out, of course. Yeah. And I actually met Deontay. He's a humble guy. What other fights have I seen?
Time for a commercial break. For small and medium-sized businesses, Strategic Nexus Media provides perfect media service needs. Communicate through the website, tieskarmicrecall.com, and call 714-905-9148.
It might be some I'm forgetting, but those are the ones that come to the top of my head. I haven't seen too many.
Well, how many fights have you fought?
I have 7 fights.
Because I know you've done a lot of shows, so.
I have 7 fights.
Is it? What's your record?
6-1, and I won the Golden Gloves. The California State Golden Gloves back in April.
Okay, what weight class are you?
165.
165, which is
middleweight.
Middleweight, and
right? I actually had to travel up to Visalia for the last fight in Golden Gloves, and that was a good experience too.
Where is it?
Visalia, California.
Visalia, California. Okay, I never even heard of it.
Yeah, I didn't either. But that's what I'm saying. Boxing took me somewhere I've never been before. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Where's that by? Somewhere popular? Like
let me see.
Frisco, Bay? Or
not Frisco.
San Jose or? Is it Southern California?
It's close to Fresno.
Is it?
Close to Fresno.
Okay, cool.
A few hours from
Nice,
here.
nice.
Bakersfield, a few hours from here. It's around that area.
Who's your favorite historical boxer?
Historical boxer.
Out of all.
I would consider Roy Jones Jr. a historical
Right.
boxer
Is
now,
that right?
and I'd have to say
He
he's my
is.
favorite
Is
of
it?
all time. I have to go.
Yeah,
Roy
that
Jones.
style was crazy he had,
Man, he was just lightning fast. He had the speed, the power,
That power.
the footwork, and the slickness. He talked trash to you. I just liked it, Roy, man. He did his, you know what I mean? I liked it, Roy, a lot.
I liked him too, man. Yeah, Roy was real tricky.
Tricky.
Seemed like he tricky. Keep that hand up and that other one
Fast. He
down.
spun it, and he just did what he wanted to do in there, and he made you look stupid, and he looked good doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish he had more competition, but I think he would have beat the competition. Like
Yeah.
some people, they say, well, they never had competition. I think Roy and Mike Tyson would have beat their competition, whether people will admit
And
it or
that's
not.
one thing I want to bring up about Floyd Mayweather, man. He's fought more world champions than just about any champion in history, and they always want to talk about his competition, but he's fought the best. Like Carnell,
Yeah,
everybody they
I
asked
agree.
for, he fought the best of their time. You know what I mean? These same guys like
He
Carnell.
took a lot of people's old.
Exactly.
A lot of people.
Carnelo, for example. His last
He
couple
took his
fights,
oath.
he been knocking dudes out.
Alvarez.
After Floyd, he been
Yeah.
knocking dudes out. They said, oh, Carnelo's too young, he's nothing. Floyd beat him. But before Floyd beat him, he was this, that, and this. Now
Right.
he's weak. Now after Floyd, he's knocking guys out. What you guys gotta say about Carnelo now?
Right.
Maybe it's just Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's untouchable.
Yeah, maybe it's just Floyd. Get a man his props. Stop trying to make excuses for what other people ain't doing because Floyd makes him look a certain way.
So
You know what I
is
mean?
Floyd? My next question was going to be, who's your
That's
favorite
my
active?
guy, Floyd
boxer?
Mayweather.
Floyd
Jr.
Mayweather.
For sure. man.
Okay, well, my favorite active boxer is out of Cuba, Rendigua.
I know you're talking about
Rigondeaux. So I
that guy's
feel
dope.
him and Mayweather are and technically him, Mayweather, and Marquez are the best technical boxers.
Mm-hmm.
But we already know who will win between Marquez and Floyd Mayweather, and I'm sure Mayweather would beat Rendigua, but only because he's so much bigger. They can't fight each other.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about him watching those two guys? Who you think is more rounded, more well-rounded for you?
I can't take nothing away from Ringer though, but I had to say Floyd just because the old Floyd didn't fight like this. He used to walk people down and
Yes, he
bang
used
them
to
up.
walk people
You know
down.
what I mean? And
A
now
lot of people don't know that.
he knows how to adjust with his age and use
Yeah.
his defense. That's
Yes.
what he's so smart up there. That's what a lot of people don't know. Floyd runs this, that, and this. Floyd used to walk people down and bang them up.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know
Yes,
Floyd have
he did.
real bad hand problems. So
Yeah.
for him to be
I have
able
hand problems.
to
Look at
utilize,
my knuckles. Look
that's
at
what I'm
that.
saying. So
Look at
for-
that.
this is what I'm getting at. He's so great that even with these hand problems, and even with
Yeah.
getting older, he learns how to utilize what he still have good and beat all these guys.
Okay,
Imagine if
plan-
he didn't have any hand problems.
Do you plan on doing that?
Oh, of course.
Do you hate when people hold you when you're in the ring, or do you hold?
I actually hate when people hold me. But if I get caught with a good shot and I'm rocked, I will hold you before I take a lot of punches.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I understand that.
But I'm not just gonna go in there hugging you. No, it's a boxing match. You know
So
what I
you
mean?
prefer to use your hands like you
Of
should
course,
hit and move?
of course.
Yeah.
Holding is only it's only for like because holding is a foul. It's only for like if
Right.
you're hurt or if you're dead tired. You know what I
Right.
mean? You don't just go in there holding somebody. It's like what you
Right.
come to fight for. You know
So
what I
are
mean?
you right-handed, left-handed?
I'm orthodox, which means I'm
Is it?
right-handed. Mhm.
Okay, nice. What are your plans for your career?
I'm right now. In a couple of weeks, I'm actually cutting weight. I'm gonna fight in a tournament called the Blue and Gold. But my
The
even
Blue
bigger
and Gold.
plan is October. The end of October is the Olympic qualifiers. I'm going.
Well, y'all better watch out if you think you're gonna be
Yeah, hey.
165 pounder.
I'm going to Olympic qualifiers at the end of October. After I win that, boom, it's the Olympic trials.
After
Olympic,
you win
hey, then after Olympic trials, it's the Olympics. So
Olympics.
Brazil
What's that?
next year, man.
That's
my
next
goal.
year?
Brazil next, yep,
Wow,
2016.
you heard it.
So that's what I'm getting
Deactive.
for.
Tell me your whole name.
Deactive, man. That's my fighting name. My name is Darius Harris. So you know what I mean.
Check them out on
Hey, be on the
Facebook. Or are
lookout.
you on Facebook?
On Facebook is Deactive NSG, and let me tell you guys what NSG stands for. It stands for Never Stop Grinding, man. And that's not just with boxing. Whatever you're passionate about, I advise everybody go at it full-fledged and never stop grinding. Just chase
Word.
your goals and keep your dreams alive, and never let nobody tell you to stop following your dream. Because at the end of the day, it's your dream. You know what I mean? It's nobody else's. Full-fledged, man. NSG, Never Stop Grinding.
Man, entrepreneur, boxer, the future, and this is where it's at. Well, what about are you're well spoken on camera? You ever thought about doing anything toward since you're a professional boxer, I see people like Malianaji. I see people like Roy Jones that are active fighters, and they're spokespersons too, and Bernard, and some people in UFC also. You ever thought about doing any speaking?
I actually have. That'd be dope, man. That'd be dope. I'd love to do some speaking, interviewing, you know what I mean, and get some answers from certain people with my questions, not with the media's questions, with other people's asking, get to ask them what I want to ask them and see how they answer it, you know?
Right on, man.
Be dope.
Cool. Let's see if we can, negotiate
most definitely, man. Y'all most definitely.
Word up, man. We gotta do that. We gotta do this. Y'all gonna be
anything positive, I support it. Whether it's black, white, Mexican, Cuban, whatever. Anything positive, I support it, man.
Right
anything that's gonna bring some good energy, I support it.
So are you a believer in God?
Yes, I'm actually a Christian.
Okay, so you put God first.
God first.
Who do you give credit for everything?
God.
So that's it. And he got as a family man too. Great mom, great dad.
Yeah.
I remember them. I know them. Tell them a little bit of story about something you know about me from back in the days.
Oh man, back in the day, man. I remember back in the day, me and my dad was just talking about this before I came here. It used to be guys come from off the streets, man, and they just think boxing's a joke. We just come in here and we just beat these boxers up. And for some reason, they used to put them in the ring with him. I don't know why, you know what I mean? And every time he used to beat him up, man. My dad brings it up all the time.
Ah, man.
Every time. I don't know why people think that if somebody's in the gym every day perfecting their craft, they can just do whatever and just come in the ring and just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. People think it's a joke, but they learn the hard way.
The hard way.
Boxing, you can't play boxing. This ain't basketball. You can't just come pick up a ball and shoot a hoop and, nah, man. When you get hit, it's a whole different ball game.
Right on, man.
Whole different ball game. But yeah, that's what I remember about him, man. And always had some good energy. Even since I was a little boy, I remember that about him. Always had positive energy. Always been positive. Man.
Oh man, he making me feel old. Hey, I'm not as old as he's saying.
Hey, he's not as old as he's saying. It's just I grew up kind of fast. I don't know, but he's not that old.
Yo, this is my brethren, y'all. This brethren is in the consciousness, full vibrant energy. He's like a local boxing mogul, you know. He keeps it real. He goes from gym to gym, let people know where he at. He travels around. Follow him. Say your
my Instagram is
at
DActive. I'm gonna spell it out. DACTIV3. My Twitter is at DActive, spelled regularly. DACTIVE. Not my Instagram. My Facebook is DActive, D-Active, and then NSG, and that stands for Never Stop Grinding.
And that's it. Check them out because you can get your Never Stop Grinding shirts,
Oh yeah,
headwear, apparel, and also to know when he's going to be fighting, where, and to get connected with him. He's an entrepreneur. If you're an investor, you want to invest in him. If
Most
you
definitely.
don't remember his contact, you can contact him through me.
Exactly.
And we making happen. Soul Ties Karmic Recall, again, getting inside you, making the soul ties with you, sharing the karma, because this is a group karma thing. We making good things happen in this world. Only the positive. Benevolence, peace, bless. Thank you for watching the Soul Ties Karmic Recall episodes. And remember, check for more on YouTube at Soul Ties Karmic Recall. And go to SoulTiesKarmicRecall.com for the book series and MLCGC video tutorials.